We are talking about a visionary concept in the next presentation. I am very happy to introduce to you Patrick Chun, engineer entrepreneur, who sold his first company to a multinational company in the mid-2000s. In 2011, Patrick co-founded the non-profit IITTI World Civility Index to establish a standard similar to ISO and tests like GMAT. It is now used in 19 countries by hundreds of thousands and became an official partner of the UN Sustainable Development in 2019. In 2023, they joined the MIT Presencing Institute as a partner and contributed a chapter on the World Civility Index to a book by the Inner Development Goals, or IDGs for short. Founded by Harvard, Lund, Stockholm universities, and World Business Council for Sustainable Development, this spans over 500 hubs in 80 plus countries. His presentation is on future-proofing the profession, training the next generation of index leaders. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Patrick Chun.
Hello, everybody. Thank you, Agnes. I hope everybody can hear me well.
Yes, go ahead, please.
Okay, thank you so much. And I'm here in Vancouver, Canada, so I'll say good morning. And I know some of you are somewhere else, so good afternoon, good evening. I'll be talking about the future-proofing your profession. So how do you keep your job in the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years? And there's one thing that is shifting very quickly. For young people, we work with a lot of universities and university students. One thing they tell us, and that is, Patrick, we really like to listen and learn more from a lot of experts and so on, but professors, in classroom and so on, we really want it to be digital. So young people, Gen Z and so on, like my daughters, they are glued to their cell phone. If you can see my cell phone here, and they would do anything just to keep their cell phone. So I think the main thing to future-proof your profession is to understand that your work is most likely needing to be online. And if you're not comfortable speaking to a camera and so on, learn how to be comfortable, like me speaking to you right now. And so the first thing we know in my first slide here is you need to be having a dual mode. You need to be able to do both. You need to be able to speak in front of an audience physically in a hotel, ballroom, or classroom, and so on. And you also need to learn about all the tools like Zoom and other platforms, Microsoft Meet and so on, so that you can be comfortable online. So most students are digital first, as in my slide here. So, but you need to make sure your presence online is as much effective as your personal physical classroom experiences. So that's point number one. A hybrid model, online and face-to-face. We'll go into a little bit as to how do you tie the two together? How do you use both mode effectively? So that would be the case. So on the left side here, you can see that you can have not only presenting like right now, like a live streaming of you speaking to an audience, but think about content creation. So your content, your brand needs to be in front of your audience pretty much on a daily basis, if possible. Because if you speak to your audience in a classroom and so on, maybe you get retained and hired once every month or every few weeks and so on, you need to have a better way of reaching out to your audience so that they would say, oh yes, I remember that protocol expert. And so if you can give them a little bit of wisdom, a nugget, what we call micro lessons that you can give them. So you may probably have to partner with people who can do digital content, creating some kind of article, some kind of short videos that would having you giving some kind of nuggets of information. That is the way how you can build a culture with an organization, a company, and so on. So all the rank and file, not just the few people, but everybody would have to have this kind of protocol training. The reason why is it's not just the CEOs and the C-suite who go out and meet people who would build a brand for the organization. Is all the rank and file, the engineers, the marketing people, the finance people, and so on. If they go out and make a fool of themselves, it doesn't really matter if the CEOs do all the right thing in terms of protocol. So you really need to have all the people there. Right now, in the era of digital media and so on, every employee, every members of an organization is an ambassador, is somebody who needs that protocol training. So you actually have a wider audience. It's not just the few who are doing the photo ops and the handshake and so on, but everybody, because everybody probably have some kind of social media they go on. And when they go on social media, they represent the brand, they represent the organization. So that is why some kind of digital content from you with your brand, it's very, very helpful in that regard. And so if you can have you can tie in the online and face to face and give them some kind of credential. It's almost like the protocol practice index. You need to have some kind of measurement so that your audience, your customers can be loyal to you. So you need to be able to think like your customers. You need to think user-centric. So what do I mean by that? What do your students get at the end of the day? Now, if you give protocol lessons and lectures and so on, fine. But do you give your own certificate to your students? I know that many give a certificate of participation. So what do you think the users will do? Can they use that to find another job? Can they use that to impress their boss right now so they can get promotions and get get a raise, so on and so forth? How can they use your lessons, your wisdom to further their career goals? So that is user-centric. Is what did they get from you at the end of the day beyond the wisdom, the information? How do they show something like this? That's the main thing. How do they show something like this? So the issue is, if they try to look for a job, how would the HR understand that they have the empathy, they have the soft skills, for example? Would the degree show something like this? No. Would their diplomas show something like this? No. But you, in future-proofing your position, your career, you can have the opportunity to show something like this that is beyond their formal training in schools. the soft power, the soft skills, the protocol skills, for example. So that's the $1,000,000 question. So I introduced to you the World Civility Index. That's what my group has been doing for the last 15 years or so. And you show a record of inner development lessons, a record of protocol lessons that they can have under the belt, showing right there, the World Civility Index. They can show it right there to their HR manager, to schools and other people to get hired, to get admission into schools and raises and so on. So you need to have those kind of numbers that you can use. The World Civility Index is user centric. They are something that you can give out to your students en masse. So if you have 100 students going through your program, even if it is only a 3-minute program online, they can all earn 1 point, for example. And that would be a point that they can accumulate over time, and they can show those numbers to whoever they need to show to. So the World Civility Index is supposed to make things sticky. You want your audience to be sticky, they to be loyal to you, so they don't go away. How do you tie it in from one session of training to another for the same organization, for example? So a universal standard measurement allows you to tie in your client's current achievement. So if you give them a lesson and they earn 1 or 2 points, they want to come back to you because you have this World Civility Index measurement or whatever other credential measurement you use that are universal. If you can find a better credential program, use it. But for our clients, they use the World Civility Index because it is something that is transferable. So in the future, they can think, oh, I've already earned 5 points of World Civility Index. Maybe I should go back to you and get some more training other than somebody else in that regard. So they can come back year after year because they want to continue with that World Civility Index. So it's almost like a loyalty program. That's how you air miles and all the other grocery stores, coupons and so on. Those are all loyalty programs. They base on certain standard, and they can have the loyalty of people coming back to them time in, time out. So by having this kind of index, just like the protocol practice index, it makes the invisible visible. What is so abstract? The problem with our profession is that protocol is a very abstract thing. You can't really touch it. It's not like building a car. You can touch it like Tesla or something. So you need to make it visible. And having the index, both the protocol practice index and this World Civility Index, well, they measure different things. They make the invisible visible. So, for example, our customers, our students can have bankers, university students, marketing people, engineers, so on and so forth. They learn about this soft skills. They can learn about protocol, for example. That could be very important. Like I mentioned before, your market can be very big because it's not just the CEOs and so on who go out and shake hands, but really the rank and files. They are all ambassadors to their own organization, the brand ambassadors there. So I think that is the most important thing that you can do for your profession. And this is my presentation. And if you need to talk to me, I have my email here, and you can reach me, and perhaps we can meet again. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Patrick, for this amazing contribution. As you said, you are making the invisible visible and you are making the unmeasurable measurable. So it's quite an achievement by itself. Could you share just a nugget, as you say, or a bite-sized piece of achievement or impact that you are most proud of?
The bite size is important. Along the digital first that young people prefer, they much more prefer to meet you online than in person because, well, young people nowadays, they're very busy. Say, for example, university students, they go to classes, they have jobs to pay for the tuition and so on. So they much rather prefer to meet you digital first. And with digital first, as a protocol professional, you actually have a bigger market. You got to think about the volume, not just the few CEOs. You need to think about the volumes, the hundreds of thousands of people around the world, even university students. You, as a protocol professional, you can go to university and say, why don't I give you a micro credential program, a small package right now? Oh, by the way, micro credentialing is the trend of the future because universities, they already have their frames of curriculum, courses and so on, but they really want to have an extension of programs. Something like the protocol would be very, very suitable because they have nothing like that. When I was in engineering, I got 0 courses on protocol. And as you grow as an engineer, you need to have that kind of protocol so that in situations that is above and beyond just sitting in your own laboratory, when you need to talk to other people to make policy and so on, those are skills that I didn't have. Those are the main things. So your market, in terms of future proofing, you need to look beyond just the current market, but future market. But digital is one thing. And the other thing is to have a micro credentialing program, a university extension program that you can sell to organizations like universities and companies. Companies, you can also provide micro credentialing program so that all the rank and file, you go to IKEA, they have 300,000 students, employees. Why can't they have this protocol in selling in their stores, for example? So those are all opportunities that I see.
Yes, indeed. And these are revolutionary ideas. And when I introduce you by saying that it's a visionary concept, I think I just did a lot of truth to that. So thank you very much again, Patrick. I encourage everyone to reach out to Patrick on LinkedIn, visit the website. So there is a lot of wisdom and a lot of practical tools to use. Thank you.